In the headlines, a new Public Procurement Act in the making. Grade 6 students head to the exam room from Thursday for the National Assessment Exam, and the quality of crops exported continues to come under scrutiny. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. First up, plans to repeal and replace Dominica's Public Procurement and Contract Administration Act of 2012 have been set in motion. The disclosure was made by Chief Procurement Officer Oscar Seaman. The decision to engage on this course of action was taken following a review of the Act by public procurement consultant Patrice F. Pratt in 2015, which highlighted why the Act could not be used in its current form.
Got it. It would cause the government to go into litigation, and this is one of the things that we didn't want to do. Based on experiences within the Caribbean, especially within the OECS, some member states within the OECS had experienced. The consultant felt that she would not give us the advice to go ahead with this. As a result of this, she gave us a way forward, as I mentioned in an inception report. The way forward was to do a new draft legislation, to do a new draft regulation, to do a new procedures manual, and associated standard meeting documents.
Seaman says a reviewed act would be of significant benefit to Dominican contractors.
If we have to follow this to the letter, a lot of our local suppliers will be shut out. What we want to do is we want to create an environment where they can build capacity, they can build, themselves in terms of experience, capacity, so that moving forward they are able to bid on projects. Not only in Dominica.
The Central Procurement Unit has been holding consultations with the public sector on the proposals for the new act. The unit intends to hold similar discussions with the private sector in the near future. Seaman says the aim is to have the act in effect before the end of 2016.
The final draft bill, procurement bill, is presently being reviewed by the Chief Parliamentary Counsel of the Attorney General's office, and also the regulations is also being reviewed, because what we do not want to do is we do not want to lose the substance, the procurement substance of the bill. We want to maintain the procurement substance while tweaking the bill to suit our drafting style.
In June last year, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit had first revealed plans to have the Procurement Act repealed and replaced. An increase in testing centers for the Grade 6 National Assessment exams as students prepare to sit the exam this week.
Grade 6 students of the Warner and Bellevue-Chopin primary schools will remain on their site to sit the exams this year. That brings the number of testing centers to 53. Acting Education Officer of Curriculum Measurement and Evaluation, Candia Robinson, says 1,086 students are sitting this year's exams.
This year we added Warner, so they'll be their own center. They used to be at Maho. They would come down to Maho, but now they're staying at their own school. So Warner is added, and Bellevue-Chopin would now be their own center, because before they would go to Pichley, but Pichley, as you know, the school is no longer there, so because Pichley is now at Granby.
There's also a 3% increase of students sitting the exam this time around when compared to last year. The Ministry of Education is concerned that the performance of students in the composition paper component of the language arts exam has declined.
We have Grade 2 national assessment, we have Grade 4 national assessment, and actually they tend to predict what will happen in Grade 6. And what we have been seeing is some monies have been invested into numeracy, so there is a slight increase in numeracy, but for some reason writing, there's a decrease in writing. Students, we have about 16% or so of our students writing at their level nationally, and that was this year Grade 4 national assessment. These are the students who will be sitting the exam next year. Writing encompasses 40% of the language paper. So if the students do not write well, it's going to affect their performance overall. Relevance, sentence structure, general impression, the mechanics of writing, basically all the skills needed to write a good composition.
Students will be tested on language arts and social studies on day 1, and day 2 they will take the mathematics and science exams. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
An ombudsman for the financial services sector could have likely been better able to handle complaints related to an increase in bank fees and charges.
Establishing an office of the Ombudsman for Financial Services is one of the recommendations that has been approved by the Monetary Council, which makes up finance ministers of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank countries. An ombudsman would investigate complaints, report findings, and mediate fair settlements between individuals and institutions. The ECCB, in a statement this week, said that it is concerned about the increase in commercial banks' fees and charges across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and the effects on depositors. This follows new charges by Royal Bank of Canada across the region, which took effect Monday, May 23. RBC introduced a $25 monthly fee on personal accounts. Many account holders locally have threatened to withdraw their monies and close their accounts at the Dominica branch, as has been happening in other parts of the Caribbean. In defense, RBC released a statement saying it was aware of the concerns and has encouraged its clients to visit their branch to meet with their financial advisor to ensure they have the banking options and advice that best meet their needs. RBC has also added additional accounts for personal banking, including a youth savings account for people under 17 and a 60-plus account. Account holders of the 60-plus account have to pay a monthly fee of $12.50. According to RBC, it is working to deliver value to its clients, shareholders, and key stakeholders. However, its customers complained that they were not informed of the new charges prior to the decision. The ECCB said commercial banks operating within the ECCU are encouraged to explain to their customers and the public at large their rationale for the increases in fees and charges. The ECCB's role is to maintain stability of the EC currency and integrity of the banking system, but it does not have the power to regulate commercial banks' fees and charges. And while the Financial Services Unit is the country's main financial regulator, commercial banks do not fall within its remit. It would only have the authority to investigate commercial banks regarding issues of money laundering. Other recommendations approved by the Monetary Council were to encourage the ECCU Bankers Association to use moral persuasion to establish a clear range of fees for various products and services which would be published for public information, and establishing a working group to review commercial banks' fees and charges and to report its findings and recommendations to the Monetary Council. President of the Dominica Bankers Association, Ilma Irish, told Channel 5 News when contacted on the matter that he would first want to meet with his executive before making public statements on increase in bank fees. Idona John Baptist, Channel 5 News.
A major tourism attraction in the Kainago territory is nearing completion. This as restoration works continue on Horseback Ridge Road. Horseback Ridge Road links 3 hamlets over a high elevation beyond the normal settlements that are connected along the major highway. The connected hamlets are Bataka in the north, Saribia in the south, and Concord to the west of the Kainago territory. Almost $200,000 have been allocated to work on this tourism-based project.
The Horseback Ridge Road, which is a major tourism, it's a route that the tourists travel through most times in the Kainago territory. It is currently now under construction. We have started constructing, or if you want to say paving, half of this road in the cost of $190,000.
The rehabilitation project has a vast economic and social impact on the Kainago community, as it will provide access to a development which has served 2 main purposes from its initial construction, namely as a community link road and as a connecting road to the most scenic areas in the Kainago territory.
And we are employing at least 10 young individuals from the community. it's not only going to benefit in the tourism aspect of it, but also the farmers and the local community people.
The rehabilitation works commenced on April 12, 2016 with preparatory grass cutting and engineering assessment. The project is expected to be completed by the end of June 2016, with works done on the major damaged sections which were caused from years of degradation and the effects of Tropical Storm Erica. The site at Bellevue-Chopin to relocate the people of Petite Savanne is currently being excavated.
The plan is to construct Petrol Castles on the site. The Venezuelan government had promised 300 Petrol Castles to go to those displaced by Tropical Storm Erica. The first 50 of that batch is being built on land at Center in Grantsby for the people of Dubique. Some 823 people were evacuated from Petite Savanne following Storm Erica last August. This piece of land at Bellevue-Chopin was chosen following a survey done among Petite Savanne residents to determine their preference in a resettlement site. Government has since done its investigations of the area and taken members of a Petite Savanne resettlement committee on a tour of the location.
Coming up, another call for improvement in Dominica's export quality. That and more when we return. Welcome back. The need to export quality food crops and agricultural produce has come up once again. This time, head of the Plant Protection and Quarantine Unit is cautioning farmers that they have to make a greater effort to secure Dominica's position on the international market.
If you trade in with the US and the UK, even Canada now, that you must have a traceability system. Okay, if something goes wrong with that one batch of consignment, they want to trace it to the individual in the exporting country. And so it is very important that we put system in place, certification system, farm certification and all these things to ensure that we stay on the market.
Following Tropical Storm Erica last year, Dominica's export sector was on the decline, but a few months after that event, export numbers began to climb. However, despite the effects of the tropical storm, farmers are being advised to pay close attention to the quality of crops which they package for export.
Quality is not when an inspector comes on the port to inspect your produce for export. It is really monitoring all your field activities in the growing season of that crop. For example, if we take grapefruit, we export grapefruit with sooty molds, we export grapefruit with scab, and this can be prevented in the field if we do the necessary field sanitation.
ANSAM is advising local producers that there are crops from all around the world competing on the overseas markets, and Dominican produce must be up to standard.
Though countries or even Caribbean population would prefer Dominica fruits and vegetables, there are competition, countries such as St. Lucia, Dominican Republic, Suriname, on that market that is giving the market good quality. And once you have competition in that market that are giving them an improved and a better quality than you and a better price, you will lose that market.
The Administration of Education Trust Fund says while it is focused on helping secondary school children, expanding this program to include primary school pupils, while ideal, may not be realistic. The Education Trust Fund, which was established in 1981, aims to help financially challenged families provide for their children to go to secondary school. On an annual basis, the Trust Fund assists approximately 400 high school students island-wide.
There is an application form which has to be filled out, and we have directors from different areas on the island who do their particular survey, and if the person is underprivileged, then they will get assistance. It has been secondary all the time, so I don't know if anything will change, but you never know. Well, we have so many secondary students and we get so many applications. We never even assist everybody who apply. So primary school, and the needs of the secondary students are way above those of the primary schools.
The Education Trust Fund helps children through the provision of textbooks, transportation and CXC fees, among other things. Shipley says the Trust Fund would like to assist many more school children, but that will be dependent on contributions from the public and private sectors.
The Education Trust Fund is one of government's safety nets, assists underprivileged children attending secondary schools on the island. And every year we do different fundraising activities. Government gives us subvention, but we always try to raise funds to assist as many children as possible.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has responded to queries by the opposition United Workers' Party on the stance of the Dominica Labour Party on the protection of the country's children. During its rally over the weekend themed on the protection of children, political leader of the United Workers' Party pointed out that the DLP had not made any mention of its position on the topic, given that that was the reason for the by-election.
And this election is asking the people of Soufriere, the people of Scottsdale, the people of Gallia, the people of Point Michel, the people of Bagatelle, to say to this government that Dominica cares about the protection of children. And the people of the Soufriere constituency, Soufriere, Scottsdale, Gallia, and especially Point Michel, must ask the lady standing for the Labour Party, what is her position on the defense and the protection of young children in the Commonwealth of Dominica? She cannot be allowed to participate in this election campaign and not tell you where she stands on the reason why we are having the election campaign.
However, Prime Minister Skerrit had this to say on Linton's comments.
Lennox Linton does not care anything about our children. Lennox Linton was concerned about removing a threat to his leadership. He thinks that he has neutralized that threat. So as far as he is concerned, life returns to normal. His focus has returned to the Dominica Labour Party. I am saying to Lennox Linton tonight, if you wish to be taken seriously on the issue of child protection in Dominica, look first at those around you. Clean the beam from your eye before peering into the face of others. That's all I would say for now on that matter.
In April, A.N. Pinard had resigned as Member of Parliament for the Soufriere constituency, citing health issues and the involvement in a court matter. In May, Prime Minister Skerrit had declared June 7th as the date for the Soufriere constituency by-election. And the Canefield resident is at his wits' end with malicious happenings at his garage. The last straw for Robertson Etinoff was on Monday when he observed 2 paper bags and unidentified powder in his garage. He says he has since contacted the police, who visited the scene to carry out investigations.
On Monday morning, my son and I left to go to work. When I get to the garage, I noticed there was some powder at the end of the garage. I didn't take heed of it. Upon opening the garage, I saw glass bottles, rusty nails, grass, and then there were 2 paper bags with a nail punctured into one saying move, and there was another paper bag with more than 6 or 7 nails punctured into the paper bag with a note written onto it, or die. So upon seeing that, I called my wife and she came, she saw it, and then I took a bus and I went to the police station. The CID came and they took the 2 packages and they left it. No, they haven't get back to me.
Etinoff says malicious events have been taking place around his garage since 2008, and he says he has an idea of who is behind this incident.
In 2006 or 7 about, I seek permission from the council to build a structure to cover the vehicle. Permission was given to me the Sunday before. The garage have been undermined. They have dug at the back of the garage. The suspect I have dug at the back of the garage. One of the pillars partly hanging. On one occasion, fire was set at the back of the garage when I had my 3rd vehicle. Last year before last, when I bought my last vehicle, fire is being tried to set at the front of my garage with a cooking gas. So basically what I'm really asking for, whoever is the one doing that, who is the other person trying to use evil? I don't see no reason they have to be tormenting my life like that just because I am just using using there to make impact my vehicle.
Etinov says he has made several complaints to the police about the individual, yet nothing satisfactory has been done. It's another Wednesday. Stay tuned for Flashback. That's coming up next.
Welcome to another exciting Flashback program. On this edition, we take you back to 1992, when the last of the living legends himself landed right here in Dominica for the very first time. Let's now take a look.
It was an ordinary landing. It's touchdown time. History was in the making. The legend was finally here. The extraordinary entertainer in person, Bonnie Whaler.
Respect. Eddie, yeah? Eddie. Promoter, right. Respect.
Welcome to Bonnie Whaler, the legend. How you feel about coming to Dominica?
Well, you know, so far so good. Feels nice. The atmosphere is just like Jamaica, and the scenery is just like Jamaica. And so far, you know, I've been enjoying myself, and the rest of the crew have been comfortable. Everything is fine so far.
As the last surviving whaler from the original group, any sense of urgency in accomplishing the mission?
Urgency? No. I fall into plans based on the plan of the Most High himself. And that's why it has taken this amount of time for me to be here. And it's his plan that I'm here at this moment. The best of Bonnie Whaler, as usual. And, you know, I'm hoping that as much people turn out so that the message can reach out to as far as we have come to take it.
Everyone wanted a piece of the action.
In that year, we were not authorized to record the performance, but from all reports, it was a well-attended show. I am Errol Thomas. Thanks for joining us. Tune in next time for another edition of Flashback.
We now join Kenny Williams for your sports highlights.
In sports highlights, hopes of Chris Gayle's being contracted for the next season of the Big Bash League have been squashed as the Melbourne Renegades recently announced they will not offer him a fresh contract. Lately, Gayle made inappropriate remarks to a female journalist that landed him in further controversy. He told her, quote, "I have a very, very big bat, the biggest in the world. You think you could lift it? You'd need 2 hands," end quote. Meantime, IPL chairman Rajiv Shukla, in response to Gayle's comments, said, "These kinds of statements are totally uncalled for in public domain, and players must behave themselves and are expected to adhere to a certain kind of behavior when the tournament is on." Shukla says he will take up this issue with the President and the Secretary of the Board of Control of Cricket in India and the Royal Challengers Bangalore management. Gayle has played for RCB in the Indian Premier League since 2011. In boxing, President of Top Glove Boxing Club, Job Joseph, says the 2016 Boxing Extravaganza Part 1 should see some much-needed attraction for the sport. The highlight of that competition will be a rematch of Charles Leatham's 4-second knockout against his Barbadian counterpart, played in July of last year at the Creole Games in Martinique.
About 8 months ago, we had a competition in Martinique where a Dominican boxer broke the world record by knocking out a guy in 4 seconds. Well, that might be something good, and Dominican shouldn't miss that. The guy is saying that was a lucky punch, right? And he won a rematch. The rematch might take place right there that night. He's from Barbados, and he wants to come to fight the guy again. I don't know, I'll tell you the truth. I don't know if it'll be 4 seconds, but he'll be down again.
The boxing competition is organized by the Dominica State College and Top Glove Boxing Club. Proceeds from the competition will go towards an Ecuadorian relief fund to assist those affected by a massive earthquake that hit the country in April, where over 500 lives were lost.
I can remember after Erica, we were in that same position, and people all over the world help us. So I think it's just wisdom, or it's very prudent that we could do the same for the next country and raise funds. So this bout is going to be around 10 bouts, and every money collect going to go to the Ecuadorian for what happened in the country.
Meantime, Joseph says boxing has been piquing the interest of more people recently.
For the past 3 months, what I've observed, since we've been at the State College and we get the ring, a lot of mothers, a lot of parents been coming in and enrolling their kids for the sport of boxing. So that's a good thing, and I hope after that tournament in Marsac that the people see what boxing is all about and more people start coming in, and the sport can be a big thing in Dominica.
Still in scheduled games, Bathurst State Football Club will come up against Nemesis United at Benjamin's Park, while at Newtown it will be a clash between Dublin Football Club and Goodwill All-Stars in action from the All-Island League. Both games begin at 6 p.m. On the basketball scene, basketball coach Job Joseph says although things are going well for Fashion Line Falcons in the DABA League, the Detroit Blazers should not be ruled out. He says the team from Massac has had a good run in the past and would not be surprised if things turned around for them this season.
You can't take nothing away from the Blazers. And anyone that want to talk something negative about the Blazers, it doesn't make no sense right now. Blazers for the past 10 years probably won 9 championships. So that's a team you have to give a lot of props, another team you have to have a lot of respect for. They are having a rough season, not bad because they have won game, they have lost game, but they are having a rough season this year. But this is just regular season. You got playoff, and that's where the big teams really play basketball, is in playoffs. So I'm not going to counter Blazers. You might be surprised if I tell you that Blazers and the Prowlers might be in the finals again. People might disagree with me. Or it mightn't be so. But don't counter the Blazers. They are a team that'll come back, bounce back, and come good. Do not counter the Blazers.
Meanwhile, the league continues on Thursday with a match between Digicel Cloud and Willie Barbershop All-Stars at 7 p.m., followed by Tigers versus LA Knights at 9. The games are carded for Lindo Park. Finally, Sunrisers Hyderabad defeated Kolkata Knight Riders by 22 runs in Wednesday's version of the Indian Premier League. Hyderabad batted first and scored 162 for 8. Y. Singh top scored with 44, while M. Henrique assisted with 31. KKR replied with 140 for 8 with no batsman, topping Manish Pandey's 36. Jason Holder was out for 6 runs. That's all the sports for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us again next time.
Your weather report is next.
Good evening, Dominica, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I'm your presenter, Marsha Alexander. We begin by taking a look at earlier infrared satellite imagery and what it showed. Limited convection across the islands during today. Taking a look at earlier visible satellite imagery, what it showed. A few low-level clouds which moved across Dominica today, and this resulted in partly cloudy skies. Taking a look at earlier radar imagery, what it indicated. A few spotty showers across the region during today. Tonight's weather is expected to be partly cloudy with a few brief scattered showers, and these conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow. Sea conditions are expected to be moderate in open water with waves peaking near 7 feet. For the next 3 days, we can expect partly cloudy skies with a few brief scattered showers on Thursday and Friday. However, by late Friday into Saturday, an increase in shower activity and cloudiness can be expected due to the approach of weak unstable conditions. For the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow, we can expect partly cloudy skies with few scattered showers throughout the chain, with temperatures peaking between 31 and 33 degrees Celsius. Our international cities forecast: clear skies can be expected in New York and Miami, partly cloudy skies expected in London and Beijing, with some thunderstorm activity expected in Caracas. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:34 a.m. and sunset will be at 6:31 p.m. For more information, you can call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. A new Public Procurement Act in the making. Grade 6 students head to the exam room from Thursday for the National Assessment Exam, and the quality of crops exported continues to come under scrutiny. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Levy, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you for watching. Join us next time.